Roger that, rolling in. And he's got a hole in his door that's as big as he said he could put his fist through it. Jesus Christ. And we received not just light automatic AK fire, it was heavy automatic and exploding type rockets or grenades or some shit.
Roger that.
And all this was within a 100-meter radius of the LZ all the way around it.
Oh, roger that.
We gather today here to honor an American hero. Though, like the 3 other Medal of Honor recipients who honor us with their presence today, he would resist that description. In fact, for nearly 50 years, he stayed quiet.
When you put that uniform on, you have a mission. And his mission for that day was to get those guys out of there. And he did not hesitate to do that. Now, some people might, some people could, but Charlie was one of those guys. He was loyal to every single person that he ever came across in Vietnam.
Charles Kettles was one of the most heroic, compassionate, dedicated person that I have ever met.
Live every day just knowing that I've been affiliated or associated with an American hero.
He was the kindest soul, the most caring, giving person you could ever want. And he never asked for glory for himself.
I met Charlie Kettles probably in the early 2000s when I think I met him at a local Vietnam Veterans of America meeting, and we found out that we were both pilots, and we just kind of bonded over that and started telling war stories to each other. I just found him to be one of the most humble men I've ever met in my life.
They woke up on May 15th, and their job, Charlie was a company commander, was to take and insert the 101st Airborne. And a few hours later, all heck was breaking loose. And they were told everybody was gone. So Charlie says, okay, go on. And they were taking off. But he got up a little bit higher, and he saw that there were still 8 men on the ground. Charlie told the other helicopter to take them back. And by this time, there was no air support. There was no gunships. He went in without any support or backup and picked up the 8 men. And
that, to me, is, that's when you kind of want to look at somebody in the head and go, what were you thinking? The helicopter is a very touchy bird to try to fly, and if you lose your concentration or anything, you can kill yourself faster than somebody shooting at you.
His helicopter had at least 39 holes in it from bullets, shrapnel, and whatever. His front glacis was blown apart, blown off, no windscreen. He had said, it's not in the record, that he believes that last blast of that RPG that hit the ground actually gave him the boost to lift that overloaded helicopter with those 8 guys into the air and got him home safe.
When he found out that he had to go right back in, is that he did what they call a high overhead approach into this LZ, which means you kind of just turn it on its side and go in there as fast as he could. And he wanted to make sure that he got on the ground as fast as you can. The most dangerous times for a helicopter pilot and the helicopter itself is taking off and landing because you're slow. A helicopter doesn't take off like a jet off of an aircraft carrier. It's got to get going.
Charlie said that if he wasn't so thin, he might have been, hit by all this, the firepower coming through the floor. But, he was just this little guy.
When you're getting shot at a lot and being able to maintain your composure and everything like that is something that I admire. My voice would go up a couple of octaves every time somebody took a shot at me. The other thing was that he was flying lead, and flying lead is that you're the one that's going to attract all the attention. The lead aircraft and the trail aircraft were the ones that usually got shot at the most.
And I says, if you want to hear the whole story, go and read about it, because it's way more than that.
The mission had gone on for the entire day, from about 0900 on. There were 2 batches, actually. The initial were 80 men, and then they walked into an ambush and got badly mauled, and they requested reinforcements. Another 2 flights with another 80 men, and pull out the wounded and otherwise. You ask what was going through my mind. You got eight men down there still. Beyond that, we're going to go down and get them, if at all possible. We'd been reduced down to where there was only 1 flyable helicopter in the unit. I broke off with no cover and landed in the middle of the 8 troops. They, of course, boarded as fast as possible. Mortar round went off the nose of the helicopter, took out part of the windshield left and right, took out the chin bubble in front of me. The helicopter would not sustain a normal departure. Rotor RPM bled off, warning horn came on. When it began fishtailing, I again took control of the helicopter and was able to stabilize it, but still it was well over gross weight. I executed what was a non-standard departure, not taught in school, not in the books, not in the training manuals. I picked it up, lowered the nose of the skid on a dry riverbed, which was rough, and regained rotor RPM again to normal.
The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, March 3rd, 1863, has awarded, in the name of Congress, the Medal of Honor to Major Charles S. Kettles, United States Army.
Please join me in saluting this proud American soldier and veteran who reminds us all of the true meaning of service, Lieutenant Colonel Chuck Kettles.
Well, the Medal of Honor is given for heroism under an immediate conflict. When you're under fire and you do things to save your fellow soldiers' lives, or to do something to make sure that the enemy does not respond back, that's what the Medal of Honor is for.
By saving those 8 people, he saved 8 families and grandchildren, children, generations to come. And I never looked at it that way until he told me.
But the last 8 of those 42, he personally put himself in harm's way, knowing his odds of surviving were minimal, and were nil, actually.
He was not going to go home and leave any one of them back. They were all going with him, or he was not going back.
The day that he left us, I asked Charlie to save us a couple seats. And I walked towards the door, and I looked around and saw him for the last time. That's what I saw.